name is Bruno Chu, and this is my media production for ETEC 531. The topic I'm discussing today is whether or not teachers should be afforded the academic freedom to teach what they want, or should there be limits to their freedom. There's a scene from the movie Dead Poets Society that sums up the debate. John Keating, played by Robin Williams, is being interrogated by the schoolmaster. Keating says to Nolan, "I always thought the idea of education was to learn to think for yourself." And Nolan answers back, "At these boys' age, not on your life." As a history major, one of the moments in history that I found most fascinating was an incident known most famously as the Scopes Monkey Trial. Battle between the traditionalists who believe in the Bible's creationism and the modernists who believe in modern science. The prosecution argued that Scopes had violated a state law called the Butler Act, which called for the teaching of evolution in any state-funded school a violation. The defense of Scopes was constitutionally based. They argued that the state laws, and specifically the Butler Act, violated Scopes' individual rights and academic freedom to teach what he wanted. It became a watershed moment in U.S. history because even though Scopes was found guilty and was ordered to pay a $100 fine, the court of public opinion had clearly swung towards Scopes. The fundamentalists were seen as bigots and not acting within reason. Then there was the case of Sissy Lax. Sissy Lax was a 23-year veteran English teacher at Berkeley High School outside of St. Louis. She was fired in 1995 for not censoring her students when they used profanity in poems and plays they wrote and performed in her creative writing class. The case was sent back to the district court for trial on those two issues. However, Lax sued, claiming the board lacked good cause to fire her under the state tenure law, violated her right to academic freedom, and discriminated against her because she was white. In the end, she won on all three counts. This is a quote from Lax in her 2003 book. "Why I Became a Lightning Rod is connected to a complex set of factors involving race, school politics, cultural struggles, teacher roles, authority concerns, denial mechanisms, power issues, and numerous other influences and stresses in our society. No matter what circumstances were stirring the pot, one premise should have been of utmost importance. Teaching students to understand voice would help them know who they were, and that self-knowledge would enable them to find a place for themselves in the world." Later on in her book, she goes on to say, "These men, the judges, didn't have the slightest idea of how to teach, how to reach students, what was going on in the real world of schools. And yet they were ready to make judgments based upon their attitudes of learning and culture, not about their responsibilities to interpret law. I was in deep trouble, teachers were in deep trouble. These men were going to do great harm to students because they decided they knew so much more than all of us did, and they didn't have to listen to us or to a jury. In conclusion, teachers most definitely should be given the academic freedom to speak and teach without interference or penalty. These cases that I have cited, of both John Scopes from as long ago as 1925 all the way up to 1995 with Sissy Lax, speak to that. And thinking about the new media that faces us as educators today, we should be aware of our rights and freedoms and ensure that they're protected regardless of the medium that is used to get our message across."